Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. Yesterday I started the video with it's a really sad Tuesday. Of course I was referring to the news of Paolo Montero that a few hours later would have been dismissed from his role as Juventus next-gen head coach. I was far to imagine that the Tuesday was over. I was far to imagine that there would have been more sad news, really dramatic news in the evening, especially if we are referring to the first team. Yesterday I was actually enjoying my Tuesday afternoon, and I thought what better moment that during international break to also take care of the second part of the channel, that is the entertainment, not only the information, watch alongs, the news, etc., but also the quiz, the vlogs, and yesterday what we did, again thank you to Nino, the beautifully, fantastically edited video about the unboxing. And the moment that I press upload, go live, that's the moment where in the chat I start reading that something is wrong with Juan Cabal. I don't really understand immediately because it just happened. I start to inform myself. What do I see? That the news from Colombia, the news from Italy, from Juve side, the journalists are telling us that indeed, during the international break with Colombia, there was a big injury to Juan Cabal. I start to inform or try to search more information, and I see immediately on Instagram that his girlfriend or wife is also sending a message on an Instagram story where they are saying that, there will be a lot of fights to go for, but they are together and they will do them together and they will be stronger out of it anyway. That's where you understand that things are not okay. At that moment, how do I react? I don't know. I'm about to record immediately a video yesterday to inform the people, but also to share my opinion. And I was so frustrated, so angry, so pissed off with international breaks that I said, I will blame international break. I will blame the national teams. I will blame the fact that we are playing too much, that the schedules are not okay, that etc, etc. You know it. You know my battles against international breaks, because I think and I confirm that it's really ridiculous to ask players to stop as soon as they start in September, in October, November, 3 times asking them to do international travel. I really think that at a certain moment they need to use common sense and to reschedule them, maybe postponing everything towards the end of the season with an entire month dedicated to the national team, to qualifiers or to the big competition, whatever. And then I said, calma Beppe, no, wait. Put your emotion aside, sleep on it, think about it, and don't go with immediately finger pointing. Don't try to look for someone to blame immediately. Try to be rational. That's what I will try to do in that video. Why the injury of Juan Cabal? What are the consequences for Juventus immediately until the winter Mercato, but also how we solve it, how not. Speaking about Mercato, because yes, there will be at least one defender that will join Juventus in the winter. Which one is the best one? We'll try to speak about all of that in today's video. I didn't ask you yet, but if you could put a maximum of like, and don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Also during international break, also in the videos where we have bad news. I'm really counting on you because you know it supports me a lot, much more than you count, that you know and that you think, and it costs you absolutely zero. So now, if we can start, we already started anyway. It's not really a basic intro. It's already sharing my feelings. This morning I woke up and I said, let's try to understand a bit. Is it because Juan Cabal played too much? I went to the stats, even if I knew them more or less. I see 9 games played out of 16 from Juve this season, and not all of them entirely, 618 minutes. So if we are comparing to the 2 players that are playing the most at Juventus this season, Cambiaso first, Vlahovic second, that are over the 1,000 minutes, actually over 1,200 minutes, we see that Juan Cabal played half of the minutes as disposal, or at least half of the minutes than these 2 guys are playing. So did he play too much? No, he didn't play too much. He played normally, rotating when he needed to rotate for multiple reasons, because he was not in form or because the player was not ready to understand the mechanism and what Thiago Motta was asking him. So maybe it's a record, maybe it's the history, maybe he played too much last season. And when you are going to the season of Verona 22-23, you see that it's a player that actually played 22 games in total in Serie A. Not even entirely, because he didn't reach 1,500 minutes, not even playing a single game in Coppa Italia, because when he started to play, Verona was already eliminated. So it's not because of too many games played, if we are really speaking about the case of Juan Cabal. So why is it? If it was a muscular injury, you could have said bad preparation, bad planning of the physicality of the physical preparation for the season from Colline, etc., etc. But it's not a muscular injury. It's really ACL. It's an ACL that happened in a training session with Colombia. We don't have all that information. When I'm telling you ACL, this is a news that has not been confirmed by Juventus at the moment because he's on his way back from Colombia to La Continassa probably today. If not, it will be tomorrow. He will do further exams. But I can tell you already here after 5 minutes of video that the rumors are really telling us that the season of Juan Cabal is over. If you are linking it with also the support message of a family, a friend of Juan Cabal, we really know that the season is over. And it's really a problem. It's really a problem because it's not only Juan Cabal. You need to add it up to what we already know, what is a fact. Bremer, that is already out for the remaining part of the season. So the season of Bremer is over. The best defender of Juve, the best defender of Serie A. We were already short in the beginning of the season with 8 players. In these 8 defenders, we had 2 next-gen players that were included and 1 player, Capitano, that has regressed to probably the last one in line. So we are playing with really short men. Bremer is gone. Cabal is gone. We don't have enough men. This is a real reality now, and we will need to face it. And that's also reality. We need to redo our defense. Gazzetta dello Sport is opening with Juve difesa da rifare. Juve, there is a defense that you have to redo. And then, of course, you think about, we missed 2 players in defense. We are only with 6. We need to go on the free transfer market. There are some players like Gigi, like Sergio Ramos, that are there waiting for a club to call them. Like, for example, Sergio Ramos, that you see these clips with the motivational music that are going full all in, etc., etc. But that's absolutely not, and I can confirm, not the idea of Juve. They didn't do it after Bremer. They will not do it after Juan Cabal. Then, if tomorrow Thiago Motta is going in the office of Giuntoli saying, find me today a defender, and I can't wait for January, you never know. But at the moment, 99% we don't go on the free market, and we'll go towards January. Now, the first thing I'm doing is opening OneFootball, and I check the games that we have up to January. And there are still a lot. There are 9 games. We start immediately with Milan and Aston Villa, Lecce, Bologna, Manchester City, Venezia, Cagliari, Monza, and Fiorentina. 9 games in a bit more than a month. In 5 weeks, I believe. 9 games. We are playing every 3 days. It's really a lot. Without rest, and it's tough. Especially because it's not that then we stop. Because yes, the year will be over 2024, but we start immediately with 2025 with Milan in Supercoppa traveling to Saudi Arabia. And then if we win, we have that final against or Inter or Atalanta. So we don't stop. We clearly don't stop. We continue to play with the defenders that we have. Ragazzi, I didn't tell you, but if you didn't yet, please go into the link into the description, as I did. Immediately going and checking the games that we have to play in January. You know it, app OneFootball is into the description. It is totally for free. All of you, not only the people from UK and Ireland that I promoted the last time, all the people can go for OneFootball. You have the news about Mercato that will heating up, especially if you want to know really fast about the players that are linked to Juve. That's the app to do. But that means that we need to do our defense. We need to start from scratch, because if you are looking at the Juve defense at the moment, I told you 6 players we have. The starting defense that is still there, even if we don't have Gleison Bremer. Savona on the right side, Gatti, Kalulu, and Cambiaso. At the moment, luckily, these players are 100% healthy. They are there, they are fit, they can play. They should be the starters against Milan. They should be the starters against Aston Villa. Then who are the subs that are healthy at the moment that could possibly play there? Rui on the left and Danilo that can replace actually one between Kalulu or Gatti in the center of the defense. And then you have multiple options on the right side, because Cambiaso can play on the right, Kalulu can play on the right, Danilo can play on the right. So on the right side you always have alternatives at the moment. The problem is that we are so short in men that when you change, for example, Cambiaso, Rui is playing. If you change Kalulu, Danilo is playing. If you play Kalulu, if you play Danilo, another one is playing. So you don't have the ability to rest a lot of players. It's really tough. It's really tough, especially on the left side, because the left side is not as good as the right side in terms of men and people that can play there. Even McKennie, if you want, and go really extreme, could potentially also play as a right back. But the problem is that we have no left back except of Cambiaso and Rui. So if Cambiaso is not playing, it's Rui that needs to go there, except if, I don't know, tomorrow Thiago Motta wakes up and he decides to go towards a three-man defense, but even with a three-man defense, we don't have enough men. So it's really problematic. We need to go on the market. The first name that goes on the pages today is the one of Lindelof from Manchester United. Yesterday we spoke a lot about United with Zirkzee, possibly Danilo. Forget about Danilo going away in January. Forget about it. It's impossible. Well, Lindelof is one of the players. Now, what is the problem with Lindelof? That is not entering the strategy of Juve. We have a strategy of going young. We have a strategy of going with a potential still to be discovered and to be shown. Like, for example, the name of Juan Cabal. That was a fantastic one, really fantastic one. Or a Kalulu, that is still a young player, that is still trying to show his full potential with continuity, and that was actually a bargain, because on loan for 3 million from Milan without any risk. Well, Lindelof, that is 30, it's not 38, it's not 40 years, it's 30, but it's a player that could possibly go to Juve. He's not playing a lot at Manchester United, I tell you immediately, it's not the choice that I would go for, it's not the player that I would go for. What are the chances for him to join Juve? Not a lot, to be honest, because his contract is ending in 2025 with the Red Devils, which means that he's looking actually for more than a 6-month loan, which makes totally no sense for him. And if Lindelof could have been that emergency answer for Juve for 6 months, because we need someone, well, no, because then he stays at Manchester United, being totally free to choose a long-term project. If Juve is ready, able to offer him a longer project, then maybe you can go for Lindelof. So I think that news of Lindelof is, yes, an idea for emergency, immediately, bam bam, but I don't think that at the end it will happen. One thing I can tell you, if Juventus will not go for the free transfer market, like the name that I already told you and mentioned you, Juventus, they have now an intention. Giuntoli has one intention, is going immediately in signing a player, probably the first day. Maybe, the moment that we are saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year and Happy New Player at Juve. That's the intention of Giuntoli, sincerely. Going with the first, the second, or maximum the third, having already a player at Juve. So is Lindelof the answer? I don't think so. The answers could possibly be Skriniar, a name that was already there on the books of Giuntoli before the injury of Cabal. Skriniar is a good player that is not playing at Paris Saint-Germain, but also there, not that his contract will end in 2025, but also him is looking to find a project where he can be central, a project where he has a long-term vision, and not a project where he joins, for example, a Juve for 6 months, he's a starter, and then with Bremer coming back, with Kalulu that is there, maybe another defender, he will also have the same difficulties at Paris. He wants a team that is guaranteeing him more seasons of possibly being a starter, without any promise, of course, but, the huge possibility, which at Juventus, it's not, and he doesn't want to make another wrong step, another wrong move, which I understand. So Giuntoli said it as well. The players that we are looking for Juve before the injury of Cabal are players that are looking to fight for their position, that have that ambition, that wants to show, not players that thought that they arrived, that are requesting too many things, but players that really want to show. And Skriniar is not 100% at the moment, at today, in that state of mind. So let's see. Hancko could be a really beautiful player. There is the name of Danso as well. There are some beautiful names there. Will we be satisfied in January? I don't think so, honestly. I think that we will go for emergency situations, and I will tell you why. Because in January, the idea was to go for one big investment, and it was a Vice Vlahovic or maybe a top offensive player. That was the intention of Juve, also because in a way, we were not able to go for Sancho, and we had a little bit of budget still available to reinforce our attack. Then after the Bremer situation, well, you know what they said at the Continassa, that budget, it's not because we have one player that is injured that suddenly it multiplied themselves, so we'll have to go half and half, with a priority, unfortunately, to go first for the defender, and then the remaining budget maybe for a striker, maybe going on loan for a player. Now with two players in defense that are missing, Bremer and Cabal, I am not sure anymore if we'll have enough money, but I can already tell you, we'll have no money for the striker. Forget about it. So what can happen possibly? That you go with a loan of a player that is not satisfied in his club at the moment. That's what you are going for if you're speaking about offensive position. Vlahovic, we know it. I already told you, together with Cambiaso, are the two players that play the most minutes at Juve. He doesn't stop, and he will also not stop with Serbia, because the intentions from the coach of Serbia are to play him also during these two games. How will he come back? Will he be fit? Will he not be fit? We need to monitor that situation as well. The good news is that Nico Gonzalez, and he will be extremely important, will or should be there. That's his mission, that's his target, to be there against Milan. From the bench, from the start, let's see, but he really wants to accelerate, and we need him. I know that a lot of people, Tifosi, are doubting about was it a flop to sign him, especially for that money or not, but we'll need to have him. Also because rotating will be super important, especially if we know that Thiago Motta is a coach that is asking for huge intensity from the first minute until the 90th minute. So you need a maximum of players. And Nico Gonzalez coming back is probably the only good news that we have in this Tuesday. So if you didn't yet, please put a maximum of like. Continue to subscribe to the channel. Let me know what your solutions are, what Juve should do. Should we go on the January market? Should we anticipated going on the free market, whatever. Let me know, because I love to read you. Grazie, forza, Juve.